Dear Republicans Overseas TV viewers, hello again. This is Jonathan Constantine coming to you from the studios in Athens, Greece, Republicans Overseas Television. Today we'll be dealing with something that's just very important for all Americans, not just Republicans living abroad, and that is none other than voter registration and voting. Roughly speaking, we'll separate the voting procedure into two parts. The first part is voter registration, which means getting ourselves listed on the voter rolls in the state that we're going to vote. The second part comes later, is the actual voting. Well, let's start with the first part, which is critical, and that's completing our voter registration and absentee ballot request. Now, to do that, let's start a little bit about the materials. I'm going to be having a camera. What you need is a connection to the internet, and what you really need to get to, connected, is the FVAP Gov webpage. It's right here, and I'm going to put it on full screen so you can see it. This is where we start from. FVAP government. Okay, so log on to your computer. Now, if you don't have a computer, get somebody who has one. You'll need a computer, printer, pencil, scissors, and maybe some glue. That's all you need, and a little bit of time. Let's start with the voting overview. Who can vote? Big question. The first answer is any American citizen. There's a point, though. You have to have some residence, some connection to a state. Now, it doesn't matter if that connection is old. It could be an address, it could be 20 years old. That's where you used to live, or your parents used to live when you were in the United States. So what we need to vote in the United States is citizenship, number one. That's holding a U.S. passport. Doesn't matter if the passport is expired, no problem. And a residence. So you have to choose a state. And what you do, it's very simple. You download this form. I'm going to be print it and mail it to the voter registrar. Now, you can't do that 2 days before the election. Generally speaking, minimum 3 months before the election. So if it's early November, I would suggest that you have the registration finished by early July. So next 2-3 weeks are critical. And mail it to the voting registrar. Now, the voter registrar will enroll you in the voter lists. If you're already enrolled, they'll check your status, verify it, possibly make corrections to your mailing address, and come September, late September, the ballots will be mailed out. Some states can email them as well. You'll receive the ballot and then post it through either mostly through the mail, and try and get it before November 5th to the voter registrar in your district. It's that simple. Now, there are a few things that we have to talk about, and let's quickly go into the method of completing the voter registration and absentee ballot request. Let's have a look at it pretty quickly. Okay, on the top, this is a form. It's just, you don't have to, no problem if you print it in black and white, absolutely no problem. Now, First critical question. The question is, who are you? And you pick one. I am requesting an absentee ballot because you have 4 options. I am on active duty in the Uniformed Services or Merchant Marine, or an eligible spouse or dependent. Okay. Second is I'm a U.S. citizen living outside the country and I intend to return. Third option, I'm a U.S. citizen living outside the country and my intent to return is uncertain. And the fourth is I'm a U.S. citizen living outside the country. I have never lived in the United States. Now, generally, we overseas voters tick, I'm a U.S. citizen living outside the country and my intent to return is uncertain. You don't have to. So last name, right here first. Please write it down in block letters, block capital letters right here. Okay. Mr., Miss, Mrs., at your preference. First name, previous names is applicable. Middle name, if you have one. Birth date, month, first, day, year. Social security number. Driver's license or state ID, only if you have one. No problem if you don't have one. So, second question, very important, is what is your address in the United States or territory where you're registering to vote and requesting an absentee ballot? Now, this is a critical question. What we want is the last address that you had in the United States or an address to which the voting registrar can actually trace you as a real person. It doesn't have to be fresh. It could be 20 years old, 30 years old. If you don't remember it, try and look up tax records and put it down correctly. Now, after you've filled that out, where are you now? This is a current address. This is your correct mailing address, which is obviously different. This is the address where you live overseas, in Japan, Greece, in England, wherever. Contact information. Put your email, phone, second email, fax if you have one. Now, what are your preferences for the upcoming elections as to how you want to receive your material? Mail, email, or online, fax, whichever suits you. Most of us put email, which will be sent to the first email on question number 4. Now, what is your, there's 5B, what is your political party for primary elections? You don't have to answer that if you don't want to, especially if you're independent or non-committed, not independent as independent party. The only reasons we put that is so we can receive ballots for primary elections and take part in those. 6. What additional information must you provide? Don't bother answering that except for Puerto Rico and Vermont. There are informations if you go into the FBAP government. Now, very important, readings and sign. You are making a declaration that you're a U.S. citizen, at least 18 years of age, or will be at the age of the election, okay? Eligible to vote in the requested jurisdiction, which means that you have to have some connection to the address that you have listed. Put your signature right here, date, and you're done. Now, on the back side of the, that's all the application, that's the application. On the back side, or if you print it twice, you have a pre-filled cover sheet for the envelope. Here, the best thing is print 2 copies and use a second one. Put your name and mailing address abroad. Okay, and here you can fill the address of your election office. Now, take an envelope, put the application aside, and the other piece of paper that you have, stick it on top, put some glue, right, plenty of glue, hold it down, make sure that there are no loose ends, close it, and put it in the mail. Now, regarding mail, okay, there are some countries that are pretty lousy with their mail, and we probably want to avoid using their mail systems, like African countries. There, we suggest that you just pop over, if it's convenient, by a U.S. embassy and give it to the front desk and ask the embassy to mail it for you. But in other normal countries, European countries, it's probably faster to just send it via normal mail. Now, let's get into some of the problems which may arise. Let's consult our FVAP website too. As I said before, one of the problems is if you've never resided in the United States. Then it's pretty simple. Go to the FVAP webpage, and on the first page where the information on the overseas citizen voters, click here where it says, and there's some pretty detailed information per state on what you can have accepted as voter registration. Let's see Colorado, for instance. U.S. citizen who never resided in the U.S. but has a parent or legal guardian that was domiciled in Colorado can vote in Colorado. Generally, that's the rule. Very few states will not allow you to vote flat out. Anyway, if you still have queries, obviously you can get in touch with Republicans overseas, and our web helplines will be happy to oblige. Now, we said about the voting residence, which is very important. Please read also the instructions on the FVAP website. And we want to make sure that you understand that you don't have to currently reside in this address. The whole idea of overseas voting is that we have, at least for a little bit temporarily, we have severed our residence ties with the United States. So what we need to listen and be very honest about it is, which was our last residence in the United States? That will determine in which state. And it's very important to give the correct address, because then we will be getting the right materials for the voter registration. So once you've mailed that, there are certain online tools, depending on your state, that will allow you to track your voter registration. For instance, Florida has a fantastic system. All you have to do is go back online and find voter registration in Florida. And most states have a similar and you can check your registration status, just like we're doing. And if you're a Florida resident, just put in the thing, what is asked of you, press submit, and we'll check your voter registration, which is very interesting because you should do it, because I found out that although it was registered in Washington, D.C., somebody voted it in primaries, and it wasn't me. That's very interesting. And I really want to know, where was that ballot mailed to? Because it sure as hell didn't come to me. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll be making future videos very soon on voter registration. And as time progresses, we'll come into the actual forms of the ballots when they come, because some are a little bit difficult to fill out, especially places like Michigan, Illinois. They require a little bit of help, and we're here to serve all Americans and provide answers to your questions. God be with you, and don't forget, elections are very important. Register to vote, and vote on November 5th. God be with you. This is Jonathan Constantine from RO Web TV.